And secondly, you need a partner with expertise, and we have that, with Anglo American. So it took us a long time to close this joint venture. In our view, it's the best joint venture by any junior exploration company, possibly ever, but certainly in the last 25 years.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. Joining me is ARC Minerals Executive Chairman, Nick von Schirnding. Nick, very good to speak with you, and you're all the way from Mining Indaba in Cape Town. You're up with your first assay results from your joint venture with Anglo American in Zambia, and they look really positive. Before we dig into those, could you maybe tell us a little bit about the company?
Sure. Good morning, Stephen. Yes, so ARC Minerals is an exploration company with two projects, one in Zambia and one in Botswana. We are looking for copper in both those regions, and we found copper in both those regions. So we're at a very exciting juncture in our very short history.
So you're out with the first assays from that Anglo JV. Those come out yesterday, and they confirm additional near-surface copper mineralisation at the target. Take us through the highlights of the assays.
Yes, so we operate in the northwest of Zambia in what's known as the Domes region. This particular area was once wholly owned by Anglo American, but when they left Zambia, this was then acquired by others. The one half of the Domes region is owned currently by three companies, or two companies, I should say, First Quantum and Barrick, but three very large operations in the form of Kansanshi, Sentinel, and Lumwana. These are all multi-billion-dollar copper operations today, producing each one of them about 230,000, 250,000 tons of copper, if not more. We own the other side of that Domes region. And yesterday, as you say, we announced the first assay of our joint venture with Anglo, and that's tremendous news for us. That showed from near surface 0.6% copper at 40 meters thickness. And within that, we've got some quite high intersects at close to 8 meters at 1.7% copper. So just to put that in perspective, today, anything above or at 0.5% copper is considered economic. In fact, one of our neighbors there, Sentinel, mines at 0.4% copper, and they produce sort of about 230,000 tons of copper at a very efficient cash cost of about $2 per pound. So, us achieving these grades at even higher grades of that is hugely encouraging. But most encouraging for us is that we are seeing for the first time traces of sulfides below that oxide zone. And that's really important because that is what we really need for a potentially major discovery.
What are the next steps then, Nick, at the project?
Look, at the moment, it's the rainy season in that part of Zambia. So we're not drilling. We're not able to drill like every other mining company there, or drilling company, I should say. So we are formulating plans together with our partners, Anglo American, and we'll be announcing those plans in due course. So we're reviewing all the data that we've drilled to date. Some of this has been exploration type work. So it's really not with any view to hitting the mother lode, but really trying to understand the geology much better. And we think we've achieved that. So we've got, we're spoiled for choice, in terms of number of targets. We have 767 square kilometers of terrain with a number of very, very interesting targets there. So it's going to be a busy year this year for us.
Nick, tell us a little bit more about the joint venture with Anglo. It must be quite comforting to have a strong partner like Anglo.
It is indeed. So, for this type of target that we have, as I say, almost 800 square kilometers, you need two things. One, you need deep pockets because drilling is expensive. And secondly, you need a partner with expertise. And we have that, with Anglo American. So it took us a long time to close this joint venture. In our view, it's the best joint venture by any junior exploration company, possibly ever, but certainly in the last 25 years. So, they acquire 70% of the project. They're putting in close to $90 million, and about $14.5 million goes to ARC itself as the junior. And that's a huge bonus for us because that enables us as a junior company to survive with a cash flow every year from this joint venture. But most importantly, the balance of that money. So about $75 million goes into the ground. That's a huge amount of money going into the ground. And I think underscores why this project is so exciting for Anglo. They don't do this regularly, and we're delighted with the joint venture that we've secured.
Nick, you're currently in Cape Town at the Mining Indaba. Could you tell us about some of the conversations you're having down there?
Yes, it's always a good conference. You've got the majors here, you've got the juniors, you've got the mid caps, you've got various ministry or ministers from primarily African countries that have mineral opportunities. So that's always very useful. And then you've got obviously a very large swathe of investors who also attend. And this is putting us on the map. So we're getting a lot of requests for meetings, including from some of our competitors, to see whether possibly they can link up with us and do something as possibly as beneficial and lucrative as what we've achieved here with our joint venture with Anglo. So it has put us on the map, and it's great to really connect and see what's out there at this conference.
And Nick, maybe just ending with the investment case for ARC Minerals.
Look, it's a very strong investment case in my view. We have, as I say, the best joint venture with one of the biggest mining companies in the world. It's putting significant money into the ground, most importantly, to access what we hope will and expect will be a very significant discovery. We have cash at the center, so we're good for that, at least into 2026. And if you look at the opportunities that we have in Zambia and Botswana, but particularly Zambia, they are second to none. So this is the most prospective copper terrain in the world. And lastly, when people say, well, your market cap of 25 million pounds or whatever it is, I say, look at Greatland Gold, look at Sol Gold. Those are examples of companies that had equally, like us, joined up with other majors, started with relatively modest market caps, but when they did discover something significant, they went to many, many multiples of what they were, and I fully expect that to happen with ARC. So I think it's a great opportunity for investors to get in.
I hope you'll keep us updated on any progress. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thank you.
That's Nick von Schirnding. He's Executive Chairman of ARC Minerals.